Hey, you all, I hope you're doing well. Today, we're gonna take a look to Latinos for Trump, the last FAFO. Please stay alert and vigilant in our communities. If people's rights are being violated, it's very important to speak up. Please. I believe that this is very important thing to do. Please don't be quiet.
Trump. So this is for all of my Latinos for Trump, which I will never forgive you for putting this man back in office, especially because your roots, he was never going to pick you. Anyways, so remind me again how you guys were for a person that wanted to get all the people that didn't belong here or came here the wrong way. Why are we trying to fly back white South Africans? Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring in some white South Africans. If you don't get the message now, like you guys are probably the type of people that like your ex told you that they needed to focus on themselves and you believe them. Like that's the type of people that I believe you are, because this man was never going to pick you. He was never for you. And the fact that you fell for the BS is beyond me. This was never about getting criminals out. This was about getting people like them back in and back in control. So, like, that whole rhetoric, it was a lie. I don't know if you've noticed, because you guys have been very quiet. I haven't seen a single Latino for Trump come out and, like, defend their stance, because you have no stance. They want us out. We are the target, okay? And you were complicit in getting this man back into power. But it's fine. Like, we'll have a whole therapy session about it. But, yeah, it's very clear what they're trying to do. And you know what? Like, you can still, like, make amends, but you have to start standing up. Like, you have to start speaking up. Just like you were so loud to defend this man, like, we need you now to step up and get united with us and back our community up and step up, because it's getting more radical out here. And they're only doing it step by step. They were never going to come out, like, in, like, you know, Star Wars Death Troop. So this is for all of my Latinos for Trump, which I will never forgive you for putting this man back in office, especially because
China is losing more of its friends. Because China is looking to replace its number one consumer, but it is not willing to have. China is losing more of its friends. Because China is looking to replace its number one consumer, but it is not willing to have equal trade with other nations. From April 14th to April 18th, China's President Xi Jinping actually took a tour or a trip to its neighbors and fellow allies in Southeast Asia, like Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, South Korea, India, and even Cambodia. But here's what China's not telling you. Those nations avoided to make any clear commitments with China and their trade. And although China did sign some agreements with some of those nations, none of them really had much substance. Let's talk Vietnam. China signed about, I think, like 40 or 45 different documents with them and declared it as a victory. China, or Xi Jinping, said we can export AI technology and we could actually give you, sell you equipment to make your railroads and all of this other stuff. But what was Vietnam going to send to China? China didn't offer a route that Vietnam could enter the Chinese market. Everything benefited the Chinese economy, but not their friends. None of these countries were going to enter freely into the Chinese market, but China wanted to enter their market because they're trying to replace their number one consumer, which is the United States. And here's the big difference. We, as Americans, are wanting equal or fair trade. We're not only wanting to be part of other nations' markets, we are willing to have them be part of our markets. China's game plan? We want to be part of your market, but, we don't really want you to be a part of ours. And after Vietnam's meeting with China's president, Vietnam met with the United States. And when they met, Vietnam Prime Minister said that Vietnam's relationship with the United States is special. More special than any other nation. And that...
Shout out to Harry, go follow him. This is horrific. This happened in Massachusetts. A lot of people already know about this. It has never been about arresting criminals that are here undocumented. This is an attack on Latinos and people of color. This is a young woman. She was with her child, her baby. They took it from her and they proceeded to arrest her. I'm telling you, this has never been about protecting the United States from criminals. As a matter of fact, they are barely arresting criminals. The vast majority of people that they're taking away from this country are people who are productive members of society. Mothers, daughters, children, brothers, people who you know, people who have done good for this place, and they are still sending them away. Because it's always about white supremacy reigning supreme. They don't give a fuck about people of color and minorities. They never have and they never will. And this is a stark reminder of what's going to happen for the next years. It's simply heartbreaking because we see it more and more again. And all of these videos need to be out there and need to be put out there to create awareness because people need to know what's happening. And as content creators on TikTok, I encourage everybody to keep posting them. Because the more people see the reality of the terrors that people are living out there because of the new Gestapo called ICE, the more we'll be motivated to vote on midterms if we have them, so that we can get these people out. Que tengan buen día.
Saluditos y bendiciones, mi gente. Ahí le puse un pedacito de Stitch de lo que votaron los trompeteros. Y ahora pueden decir que sí, que la he cogido con los camioneros porque tienen el descaro de ponerse en esta plataforma indignados porque no tienen apoyo. Más sin embargo, ellos votaron por esta. Vean el video completo. Votaron por eso y lo aplauden y lo siguen apoyando. Y ahora, ¿qué le van a dar de comida a sus hijos? Me importa un pepino porque esos niños se van a quedar sin madre. Muchos de ellos se han quedado sin padre. Y a ustedes no les interesa qué le va a pasar a esos niños y a esos padres y esas madres. Así que por ende y demás, paren aquí llorando de qué le voy a dar de comer a mis hijos. No nos interesa. Cuando ustedes quieran apoyo por esto que ustedes votaron, quizás
Need to have a chat with anyone who is genuinely surprised that the girl whose entire personality reminds me of the Latinas I went to middle school with who have internalized white supremacy and a desire to control their life because they didn't have that at home. Why are you guys surprised that she turns out to be a Trump supporter? Like, all the signs were there. Did you guys not see her subway take? She was literally like, yeah, like, I think that parents should be allowed to beat their kids. And then, like, he's like, whoa, like, explain that more. And she's like, yeah, like, I think, like, well, your mom should be allowed to beat you, not your dad, though. And then she also mentions that her dad is Spanish and her mom is Canadian, which sound like nationalities to me and not necessarily ethnicities, and people are saying that based off her last name she might have Bengali ancestry, and I feel like it does make sense that somebody who wants to be white and European so bad would hide any distant Bengali ancestry that they might have, even though everybody's kind of clocking her as like probably being a little bit brown. So yeah, that's why I'm genuinely not surprised that somebody with the kind of mommy issues where you're just striving for power at all costs, even if it means screwing over marginalized communities, is now saying that they are a big fan of Donald Trump and Kanye West. Like, it's all there. All the signs were there. Just need to have a chat with anyone who is genuinely surprised that the girl whose entire Just need to have a chat with anyone who is genuinely surprised that the girl whose entire personality.
A lot of you have been wanting me to talk about the elimination of the writ of habeas corpus. This is the first thing they teach you in law school. It's one of the most important things when it comes to legal precedents. The government is basically saying, hey, we can eliminate this so we can imprison people indefinitely with like no reason at all. When it comes to dictatorships and people running states of apartheid and fascism, you want to have that eliminated immediately because you can help someone indefinitely without giving the courts any explanation on why you're doing so. And to no surprise, Stephen Miller and the Donald Trump administration is considering eliminating the writ of habeas corpus. A lot of our legal community and lawyers alike are worried about this. A lot of dictatorships do this shit. Now, is it gonna happen? We don't know. So far, it's in the conversations, but it's something that lawyers are keeping an eye on because we don't want this shit taken out of the equation. But with the recent arrest of the mayor of Newark, this is definitely something to look out for. It's what I said in the beginning. They're just trying to eliminate dissidents. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted.
Hey, how are you? Where's Paul? The homegrown camp. Why? What? He insulted his spray tan. Okay, come on in. We'll talk. So sorry to hear about Paul. But you know that he signed the anti-Trump propaganda executive order just a few weeks ago. Did Paul try the jab defense? You know, he went crazy because of the Biden forced COVID vaccine. Oh, no due process? What can you do? I'd offer you something to eat, but I can't really afford it right now. I know. I'm not supposed to say that. I know the motto. Short-term pain for long-term gain. I know, don't tell on me. Short-term pain for long-term gain. But less about me. How are you doing? How's the business? You lost it. Bankruptcy? That's okay. That's okay. Under his eye. This is all part of the plan. If I'm being honest, Mary, we should have never been working in the first place, and you know that. Well, how's the house rebuilding going since the hurricane? Oh, you're living in a tent. You and the 3 kids. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good because God blesses and states and people need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Well, now that they fired 3/4 of federal workers, hopefully that Doge check will come in soon. That'll come in handy, hun. Honey, don't cry. No. I've got a funny story for you. You're gonna crack up. So my sister calls me last week. She's sick of her neighbor's shit. They're those crazy left-wing lunatics. So she decides she's gonna call ICE on them. And when ICE shows up to the house, busts in the door, the mom comes running out with her 3 kids, yelling, "It's the Gestapo!" And my sister yelled back, "More like the Gestapo." Oh! As an ICE agent tackles one of the kids. I died. I'm gonna send it to you. But the best part? They weren't even immigrants. Oh, here we go again. Shit. Maybe invading Canada wasn't the best idea. Turns out NATO does defend its allies. You didn't hear me say that. Get in my bathtub. Let's go. Hey, how are you?
Donald Trump would have you believe that he must personally direct the entirety of the vast American bureaucracy. And yet, when you actually ask questions of the man in charge, he doesn't seem to know anything about the government that he's supposed to be running.
The lead prosecutor in Eric Adams' case resigned today.
Well, I don't know about it. I mean, obviously, I'm not involved.
He wants to know why the proclamation was signed in the dark.
I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it. Other people handled it.
Some of your top cabinet officials and aides have been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it.
Do you still believe nothing classified was shared?
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know.
Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
If the court holds you in contempt, will you take steps to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States and put him in front of a judge?
Well, I'm not involved in it. I'm going to respond by saying you'll have to speak to the lawyers.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said.
Are your administration sending migrants to Libya?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Homeland Security, please.
This strongman presidential dictatorship is built around a guy who doesn't actually seem to have any idea what's going on anytime you ask him. This paradox keeps showing up, and it keeps forcing the question, who's really in charge of the country? Donald Trump would have
Los brokers por años que se han aprovechado por la mala práctica del camionero.
Saluditos y bendiciones, mi gente. Le puse un pedacito de Stitch. Esta es una señora que está tratando de conseguir personas que firmen un petition para ayudar a los camioneros, ¿no? Están tratando de hacer de todo para que vuelvan a mirar la ley, para que no un DOT no sea el que decida. Bueno, pero a mí la risa que me da es que entre todo eso que ella está diciendo, el problema no es el inglés. Ojo, el problema no es el inglés, no. El problema es que los brokers y que no le pagan, y parece que eso es parte de las condiciones también que ellos están firmando. El inglés no es el problema. El inglés no es el problema. Ella aclara eso en varias veces. Ellos siguen cubriendo a Trump. El inglés no es el problema. El problema es que no le pagan bien y que lo han permitido por mucho tiempo. Y está bueno ya. Yo le diría, pero como yo no me meto en eso, pero sí tengo que hacer el video porque me causa mucha gracia, que en estos momentos que ellos se pongan a estar pidiendo que le paguen más por las cargas o las millas o lo que quieran, ellos no se dan cuenta de la crisis que estamos. Yo creo que hasta ahora ellos no se dan cuenta que los ports están vacíos, casi no está entrando mercancía. El problema de los contenedores, yo no sé qué trabajo ellos están tratando y cómo quieren hacer un pare. Ahorita lo van a parar permanentemente porque no van a tener trabajo. ¿Usted se cree que en la situación que estamos ahora, con los puertos que van a tener que dejar personas ir, con el trade war que ha empezado a normar no vamos a tener nada? Si nosotros no tenemos nada es porque ellos no van a tener carga. Y ahora están reclamando los precios y el pago. Y todo es porque no quieren decir que es por la patada que le dio por el trasero Trump. Lo quieren justificar. Lo quieren seguir tapando. Y yo me río. Se van a tener que parquear los camiones porque no hay carga. Si literalmente están diciendo que el puerto de Los Ángeles, que es uno de los más grandes, ha tenido una bajada de 35%. Así que a mí me parece que con todo este revolú que ellos quieren formar, con tan poco trabajo que van a tener, se lo van a dar a los americanos, a los que sí hablan inglés. ¿Qué le importa a ellos en estos momentos? Ojo, digo en estos momentos porque yo sé que los camioneros mueven todo aquí, pero en estos momentos que no hay nada que mover por el trade war, ¿ustedes creen que le van a subir los precios de los pagos? No, mi amor. Al contrario, se van a alegrar que no tienen, las personas no hablan inglés, lo van a sacar de circulación para que el poquito trabajo que esté entrando aquí lo cojan las personas que sí hablan inglés. Pero bueno, hay que dejarlo ahí. Los pobres están haciendo la lucha y se les respeta. Lo que sí quieren que todo el mundo se una con ellos. Yo le puse un comentario que el día que ellos hagan un petition para que paren las deportaciones y para que paren separar familia y el abuso que están teniendo con los inmigrantes, quizás que me une a esa. Pero mientras tanto que ahora quieren que todo el mundo se una porque le pisaron el callo de ellos y ellos todos votaron por Trump siempre y cuando el daño era para otras personas y no para ellos, yo no me voy a unir a nada de eso. Así que le puse, cuando ustedes hagan una petition para que paren el abuso que tienen con el inmigrante, que lo están deportando without due process, y que paren de tratarlo como animales, como la muchacha esa que la tenían face down con 6 de ellos arriba de ella como si fuera un animal, quizás que me una. Mientras tanto, que los trompeteros no piden, ahora quieren que todo el mundo se ayude y que todo el mundo nos juntamos. Negativo. Espero que todo lo que firmen la petition suya sean trompeteros, porque yo estoy segura que el que no es trompetero piensa igual que yo. Ustedes votaron por esto, ustedes se iban a hacer millonarios con Trump y miren la situación que estamos con Trump, quitándonos derechos, violando órdenes de los jueces de la Corte Suprema, agarrando personas, tirándolos ahí hasta ciudadanos americanos. Un desastre total. Y ustedes todavía lo siguen apoyando. El día que se decidan hacer algo contra él, me incluyo, Mientras tanto, lo que me dan es mucha risa. Hasta el próximo video, mi gente.
Los brokers por año que se han aprovechado por la mala práctica del camionero.
Saluditos y bendiciones, mi gente. Le puse un pedacito de stitch. Esta es una señora que está tratando de conseguir personas que firmen un
Well, I have got some hot tea in the brew for you, baby. Now grab your cup and pull on up because we're about to break it down expeditiously. If you remember last week, I did a video called A Lesson is in Session. As a matter of fact, I think it was Saturday, just like today, but just a week back. Either way, in that video, I broke down their real plans, you know, the white man. And now he's so very terrified that there's not enough white here on his side. Yes, it just so happens on Monday, we're getting a whole plane load of white into town. From out of town. Yes, you know, they told you the mass deportations that we were doing to get rid of the brown had nothing to do with them being brown, but it had to do with the fact that they were all criminals, violent, in fact. And then they started deporting grandmothers and grandfathers and even babies and 2-year-olds, too. I wonder what a 2-year-old could have possibly done to you. But either way, back in February, he pulled out his Sharpie one night and he signed an executive order to put some whites on a flight. And Monday is that day. Here's some receipts for you because this story is absolutely true. The Trump administration is chartering a plane to bring the first white South Africans to the USA as refugees, baby. Like I said on Monday, I do believe to Dallas is where they will be flying in on their flight. All you gotta be is white. Yes, tell me again how it's all about violent criminals and has nothing to do with their skin color, my friends, even though we're deporting 2-year-old children today. Even kids with cancer have to get on a plane and depart out of our way. Yes, I don't want to hear another Republican, a Republicant, and a Republicant come at me and try to pull some it's not racial stunt. And by the way, y'all remember that little rumor that was about Alonia Muskrat over there in Texas building a little city? Yes, all the MAGA were getting excited. They thought they were going to be able to move to Alonia's new city that was being built with homes and even schools. Well, apparently, boo, that city wasn't built for you, but for more South African immigrants that are white, like Alonia Muskrat. Oh, well. I guess they're doing more for whites that don't live here than they're actually doing for whites that live here as they're stripping your rights of due process away from you. But the brown can't stay around. And by the way, if you are in South Africa today and you think you're going to board that plane and come over here and everything's going to be fine, honey, you are insane. Don't believe that lie. You will still be outnumbered here if you just so happen to think it's okay to hate the black and brown deer. Anyway, please share this video because I think we need to get it out into the everywheres. And one more thing. Apparently these are supposed to be farmers coming here to plow the land. Maybe you should look at what, well, that orange man is currently doing to farmers who actually live in this land. Okay. Well.
Mattel, I don't know, I'm not so sure. They also said, they're the only country I've heard, they said, well.
First off, bitch, don't ever tokenize me. And yes, I am Cuban. I'm also Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Guatemalan. But anyway, I literally say deport the people that voted for Trump. So what are you saying? They voted for that. So if they get deported, I will not bat an eye. They deserve it. Like, what are you getting at? Literally. Like, stop speaking for us. Because anyone that's not a bootlicker says people like Latinos that voted for Trump deserve to get deported because, oh, you thought it wasn't going to be you and it's you. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So literally, don't use us as a scapegoat for your anti-blackness against Tory. Literally, don't do it. First off, bitch, don't ever tokenize me. And yes, I am Cuban. I'm also Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Guatemalan. But anyway, I literally say deport the people that voted for Trump. So what are you saying? They voted for that. So if they get deported, I will not bat an eye. They deserve it. Like, what are you getting at? Literally. Like, stop speaking for us. Because anyone that's not a bootlicker says people like Latinos that voted for Trump deserve to get deported because.
Well, let's continue tomorrow watching the Circus of America. Okay, everyone. Bye.
Don't forget to follow.